Okie dokie. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another IPFrame. Today we're doing a Hatsune Miku build. And along with that, our faithful companion, Teto! Hopefully hopefully she won't get Netto-rara'd by our not real counterpart this time. Anyway. So today, with our Miku build, we'll, go over the fashion frame first, and then we'll go into the builds. So, let's get started. So, we have Miku here. We have gray, this kind of gray from Daybreak. This kind of helps gives our illusion of a, kind of schoolgirl outfit. We have our black here for that same reason. It also kind of helps with like the sleeves where, Miku has her disjointed sleeves. We have this pinkish color here from Deca Heirloom. Have Deca Heirloom. There's also Ember Heirloom, which has a very similar color. You could also dip into... Where is it? There's like an argument for like this color on Gamma. Of course, that's pale. There's also like colors on Shamrock that you could play with. You could also go for this Storm color. Lots of choices. I think the Deca Heirloom one is best though, and that gives us our Miku flag. Then of course we have this bright kind of cyan blue. Notably, if you wanted to be a different kind of Miku, you could go for a bit more of a tealish blue, and then you could come down here and kind of play around more with the skin tone, go into something like classic saturated, really. And you could get a little bit of a tan on, and you could be Brazilian Miku. So that's also, a fun little option you can do. In that case, you might probably want to replace this with like a nice bright yellow color. Something like that, probably. Maybe a little bit less of a bluish, kind of grungy yellow. Something a bit more orange. Not like that. Like, something like that. You get the vision. Anyway, no sigils, no Cyandana. One notable exclusion that I wish that we could get. There is like a dress ephemera that's like really cute that you can get from the Sisters of Parvos. I don't have it. It feels like a hell to grind. I don't know if I just don't have watch Miku fester while I talk, I guess. I don't know if I just don't understand how that works, Like if I'm like just stupid, for lack of a better word. But I have not been able to get it to drop, get it to appear at all. Anyway, lots of different fun things going on with the ephemeras. The only thing that I have here, because Miku is, a fairly simple design, and Octavia already has like pauldrons, and so Octavia is already, decked out with a lot going. But you have this heartwood chestplate here that kind of gives you your Miku tie. So we have this gray again. We have this other kind of, well, actually, that's the same teal. This is the other kind of teal that we're grabbing from Corpus. Same color from Corpus. And then we're using, for the emissive color, we're using this same Corpus, and then this kind of like purpley lavender from Dojo. Onto that, of course, we're using the Diva. Dude, when this came out, everybody was like, look, it's Miku. Look, she can hide in our Warframe now. She's gone through the Wi-Fi into the Warframe. Anyway, so of course we're using the Diva skin. It just doesn't work. It doesn't look like Miku on any other skin, I'm afraid. But, I mean, probably the best option would be Octavia Prime, just because that's like, something at least. But we're rocking the Diva skin, right? So, you might be thinking, now, why does Miku have guns? Well, aside from the fact that Miku branded gun is really funny to me, yeah, you jig it up. You hit those emotes. Speaking of emotes, the reason she has guns is because she's in Fortnite. So of course she has guns. because she's in Fortnite. The Vesper here is here because it's kind of a modernish gun, and if you've the last two builds have been using the Lex, I didn't want to use the Lex again. The Vesper is fun. The Vesper is here for that reason. The Stradavar is here because I remember I only played Fortnite for a very short spell when it first came out because my dad bought Fortnite for my whole family and we would all play it together. And when I say I don't mean the Battle Royale, I mean the paid game Fortnite. So I remember there being a Tommy gun in the game. I looked it up and apparently it's a legacy item or something that's no longer in the game. Anyway, either way, I came up with these colors. We're using this kind of like tannish color, using this black color, using kind of a lighter tannish color from Gamma. For the accents, we're going back to Gamma for this lightest tan. And then using these kind of like, I'd call it bronzish tones from Storm. Grabbing these from Classic Saturated. And if you're looking for more skin colors to experiment with on your Miku, kind of grab from these pools. You could do some interesting things here. There is, of course, the Stradavar Tekalu skin that I don't have. If you want to use it, feel free. I don't think it's a bad skin. I think it's very good, in fact. Miku Gun. We're using that same teal from Corpus. Double black from Classic Saturated. We're using the lighter teal from Classic Saturated. Corpus. Classic Saturated. You get the gist. Again, no skin on this, just because if there's a skin that you enjoy, if you want to give Miku a pocket rocket, feel free. But I like the Vesper as it is. And then we're using the Guandao with the Diva skin. For the most part, the only unique color here is this Cavia blue. Otherwise, this is all the same blacks and teals that you've seen before. This is the same Dojo purple. The big showstopper here is the Diva polearm that allows you to, of course, sing to your enemies as they die and perish. The Guandao Prime is just a really good weapon. I don't have an arcane installed in this. I don't want to buy one right now. 325 platinum and I don't want to buy one. I don't have an arcane in this, and it's still going to perform immaculately because it's the Guandao. I mean, we have 100% crit chance, meaning we're always doing 7 times damage effectively. We're getting, slash procs aren't great, I understand that, but we're still getting massive slash procs off of this. If you wanted, you could switch from corrosive to any number of damaging elementals, and this will probably perform better, but this is the build I'm running. It is a good build. Probably galvanized steel is a bit more optimal, but I think we're especially because most of our killing is going to be coming from the Stradavar and from our Octavia. But before we get to that, Vesper. So this is a funky build. It's a little funky. It's a little monkey. So this is a full headshot build. We're using leaded gas, which is primarily the reason for that. So leaded gas gives us 300% gas damage and status chance on a weak point hit. So you shoot a guy in the head, you get gas damage. You shoot him again, generally he dies, you get secondary deadhead, and then your gas procs can headshot. And that's great. Also, you're getting the damage and the crit chance from pistol acuity. Also, we have creeping bullseye here just for funsies. Also, we have prime target cracker here. Just, because we want that crit damage. Semi-pistol cannonade is here just because we really are digging that damage and that punch through to help us kill more than one guy at a time. Corrosive is here for just the extra boost to our damage. You'll note I am running an unranked convulsion. If you want to drop another forma into this, then by all means, and then you can run Jolt here instead, or you can drop like a couple forma and run primed convulsion, maxed out instead of just normal convulsion. but we are mostly here for the corrosive damage, not necessarily the big damage, and it's fine. Hydraulic crosshairs, even more crit chance, just because. Why? I don't know, because it's fun, I guess. The unique trait here, also more critical damage. This thing, it kills. It's, if you ask me, not fun to use, because you have to headshot for it to kill. But for our elite gamers, which I think Miku would be an elite gamer who, I mean, she literally is a robot. She could literally be an aimbot and just kill everything. And I think that'd be great for Miku. And damn, she just shot us dead. That shows you that's her determination coming through to kill, murder, and maim. So, onto the Stradavar. Blast. This is a dumb build, but it's really fun. Why is Hunter Munitions here? Is for funsies. I like, you can just replace it with electric damage, it's fine. In fact, I will do that because it's better, it's more optimal. Prime Shred is goofy. We have, this is another weak point thing. The difference is that this is really funny and goofy. So, primary AQD for damage and crit chance. We aren't running extra crit chance here. We're just letting this one rock it out, and then we're doing double crit damage. We're running a hell of a lot of status chance. We aren't even at 50%. It doesn't matter. We just shoot that much. Primed cryo rounds and thermite rounds, they make blast. Rhyme rounds helps make blast. High voltage, shocking the guys. I had Hunter Munitions on here. I think I was testing it. I don't remember. Hunter Munitions, otherwise, though, gives us funny slash procs that are like whatever. Primary Deadhead. Goofy. Really funny. I like it. Simply because we're already going for headshots, so why not? But yeah, it's a goofy build. It's a goofy build, and I love it. Before we get to the main sauce of Octavia, flash on screen. Before we get to the main sauce of Octavia, let's talk about Teto. So, show off the Teto stuff. We're using this gray, kind of gives you that Teto gray kind of coloring. We're using this black, again, just kind of accenting. Using this red for accents up here, cherry red. Using this slightly darker red from Classic Saturated on the other ones. For our accents here, we're going to this, like, warmer, kind of grayish white color. Just again, kind of helps, gives us contrast, gives us another gray in the mix to, you know, act as Teto's uniform. And attachments. We have these Sumus Prime Sentinel wings. I thought that these looked most like Teto, you know, stuff. If we switch off of this to the actual Shade Prime, you can see how it looks a little different and how it's still the exact same positioning, which I think is a good. Sprite Shade is different, and I really dig Sprite Shade. And here you can see it kind of looks a bit more like Teto's drills. Oh god, this is so cursed a little. Just looking at all of the, this is like evil Teto or something. I don't know, man. Anyway, sorry, I'm so off track. We're using the Simus Prime Sentinel because it kind of gives that face. It kind of, you know, HAL 9000 or whatever. I don't remember because I haven't actually watched that movie. But it kind of gives a face. It kind of gives the illusion of a face. Again, we're using the same cherry reds and slightly darker reds. And then we're using this kind of like fleshy tone for Classic Saturated. Same here. Just to give our title a little face. With that, we're using Primed Laser Rifle, primarily so that we can get up to that 60%, so that we can use Tenacious Bond and get even more crit. We're using Sacrifice so that we can get that 1-up if we need it, Regen to help counterbalance Sacrifice, Vacuum to help clean stuff up, like all good Tetos should, Mystic Bond for some energy economy help, Assault Mode so that our guy will actually attack and occasionally do cold procs. To help with those cold procs, we have Coolant Leak, which is really fun and nice. And then Guardian and Shield Charger and Medi Ray are just here for general living support, as it were. So, the main gal herself, Miku. We're running Prime Sure-Footed. This is very much needed because of the Stradavar's blast. If you shoot further away from yourself, it isn't as much needed. But sometimes that's really hard when the enemies are running right at you. So, consider that. If you don't have Prime Sure-Footed, you can use normal Sure-Footed, or you can run Augur Secrets up here for a mini Prime Sure-Footed effect, or you can just run, like, Handspring or something. There's also, Fortitude? I want to say it's called? Yeah. There's Fortitude. Fortitude isn't excellent, because you would have to take up, like, probably, like, Augur Secrets, and so it isn't, like, great. I wouldn't recommend it, but it's also there. Energy Siphon. Yeah, that's cool. I like Energy Siphon. It helps with our energy economy because we don't have any channeled abilities. I'm pretty sure. Do we have a channeled ability? Duration. No, we don't. Okay. I was psyching myself out there. Because we don't have any channeled abilities, this is always active, always nice. We also have Zenric here to help with that also. And to further contribute to this, we have Flow. That way we have a massive energy pool that just is convenient more than anything else. Energize is also helping with our energy economy. Of course, we have Rolling Guard here to help us roll through procs, rub them off of ourselves, stay alive. It's helpful for if an Xmas throws down a fire wave, or you run into a environmental hazard, stuff like that. Archon continuity isn't necessary. You can run normal primed continuity. This is 5% more duration than mine because it's one tick higher. Constitution is here for more duration, same with Augur Message. Arcing Crepuscular is here for the ability strength on top of Augur Secrets. Umbrella Intensify is also here to give us a nice chunky ability strength boost. And we're running just a little bit of range with Stretch. Notably, you could slot in more range up here with Cunning Drift if you didn't care about getting knocked over, or if you're better about avoiding it. Otherwise, we're mostly staying alive because of Metronome turning us invisible. So yeah, that's kind of how it be. And we're killing things pretty easily with, like, Mallet and stuff. Normal Octavia stuff. If you've ever seen Octavia be an Octavia, that's just kind of how Octavia do. So, in this instance, I will catch you real quick in the Simulacrum. It'll be a cut for you, a couple of loading screens for me. Here in the Simulacrum, straight up dorking it, and by it, let's just say, my enemies. We'll go ahead and, we'll be realistic to the build. You can hear my horrendous Metronome song, or my horrendous Octavia song. But yeah, we're getting through his health. Give it a second, give it a second, give it a second. That's great. Now we have some of our stacking up. We get more of our stacking up. And you can see, it's not a great build, but it's really funny to be using the Stradavar in 2026. You know? It's really goofy. It's also a goddamned laser beam, right? And also, realistically, we would have Mallet, right? So, let's look at the Vesper a little. Bonk, bonk, dead. Gas procs killing everyone. That's kind of how it goes with this gun. Bonk, 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 bonk. But yeah, I mean, you can see even the Guandao is like, okay, this is doing fine, you know? You'll notice Mallet not killing all that much. That's fine. Mostly that's because of, like, the weird placement and because we don't have amp up. If we have Imp up, we throw down our Mallet again. It should start dealing some. There we go. Does it really require Resonator to deal damage? I don't actually know. I don't play Octavia that much. Primarily because of the musical hell that you can overhear in your ears right now. This is unfortunately the optimal Octavia setup for, like, song. I'll flash that on screen here in a minute. I mean, you can see the Guandao isn't killing a lot, but it's fine enough, you know? Anyway, go ahead and kill these guys. Yes. Go into my main Discord. So yeah, I'll scroll. I'm scrolling backward. I'll scroll around. This is 1. This is 2. 3. 4. Back to 1. That is unfortunately kind of the optimal Manticore strategy there. Here in the test mission. Straight up bleeding it. And by it, let's just say our enemies' ears. So you can see here the perks of being invisible. The perks of being a Miku. Go ahead and get Nocturne back up and just sit here. If I wanted to have some fun, I can just do this. Point my laser beam at some guys. It's a little more difficult to get headshots on them when they don't know where you are, so their heads aren't pointed at you. But yeah, you can see we're doing fine. We're killing guys. It isn't like the greatest. I'll be the first to admit that, because it's the Stradavar. But you know, the point is that we're Miku, not that we're, you know, slaughtering the endless hordes. Also, if you really need some DPS. And then I miss. Look at me. Typical Warframe player. Bonk. They didn't even see it coming. Joker persona. See, we're cross-platform now. Make sure we got plenty of Nocturne time up. Throw down Metronome again. You can see just with Energy Siphon, we are plus energy. Just by sitting here, right? If you're curious about that electrical proc, that's a Parazon mod. Doing that. Get our nice 30-second Nocturne back up. And yeah. Acolytes haven't been spawning, which is a little problematic when you're trying to test your bullshit, but maybe one will spawn this time. You may note that I'm not running any Archon shards. That's mostly just because I didn't really want to super invest in something that I didn't think that I would necessarily need. Recommended Archon shards, honestly, I think it's really fun to build Octavia and play her kind of like a weapons platform, more than anything. And so my real recommendation on that would be to, you know, treat her as a weapons platform if you want to play with the Vesper, for instance, get the Archon Shard that boosts up secondary weapon damage, etc., etc. If you really want to play with the Guandao, which is so funny and so... I encourage it. If you're going to do that, you might want to run an influence build or something of the like. Either way, if you're going to do that, you know, I encourage it. This Guandao Prime build is kind of a goofy build. It's kind of not meant to be taken seriously. Anyway, if you want to run the Guandao, then do whatever the melee enhancement one is. I don't remember off the top of my head what they do. I know one is like crit chance, one is crit damage. Okay, and then we can just do this. And you can see even a meme Guandao build is still putting in work. We're struggling a little against this Xmas, but like, we're also just holding E, you know? Look, we're even damaging this, and that's not even... Like, we shouldn't even be able to damage that yet. We're not at that point in the mission. Miku's in the code, changing the laws of reality. Uh-oh. Sometimes it goes quiet, and I'm very happy, and then I remember quiet means my imminent demise. Oh, Misery. Miku cover of Misery by Imagine Dragons. Miku asks you if you like Imagine Dragons. Teto says, "What do you mean?" Miku says, "I finished the joke. I don't know. Finish the joke in the comments." Oh, I didn't want to do that. That's fine. And then you just Stradavar this. Like I said, this build is more about having fun than it is being super optimal. You know, if you want to be super optimal, then there are 1,001 guns. You know, like I could have strapped the Soma on here and just Soma and Karnan go burr, Bratton and Karnan go burr, Bruston go burr, etc., etc. But I saw the chance to use the Stradavar, and I was like, nah, I gotta. This is too funny of an opportunity to not do this. And you can see here, we're ending at, you know, 534 energy after consistently casting our abilities the whole mission. You know? This is... Octavia is just really powerful. Really good Warframe. No notes, you know? Anyway, as is customary, I'll flash all the builds on the screen again at the end. I hope you all have a great evening. Hope you all have fun with the blue hair, blue tie hiding in your Wi-Fi. Hope you all get some nice play in on the villainous and lipstick. You know? Don't get mesmerized. How many more of these? Chocolatto. Okay. Oh, right, Teto. Her birthday is the 31st, I hear. Oh, I don't know that I showed this, but yeah, this is the cold machine. It's built just to have that 60% crit, and then just proc cold as much as often, as quickly as often. And Hunter Track is here for a bit of status duration. Hope you all enjoyed the video. See you next time.